Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Midweek Transformation and Morphe Moments. Today is August the 19th, 2026. And we're kind of continuing the thought of how do you and I look like Jesus? And so we keep looking at the how-to. So last week we looked at how as we walk in love, we are imitating Jesus or mimicking Jesus. And this week, we want to look at how as we imitate, as we mimic, we do that by walking in the light. And so that's the truth for today. So Ephesians chapter 5, verses 7 through 14, if you want to follow along or just read it later tonight, So we're still talking about as walking, we're talking about our behavior, we're talking about our words, we're talking about our thoughts, we're talking about our deeds. And so in these verses, Paul gives us some characteristics of walking in the light. The first thing he tells us is that walking in the light means that we reject the ungodly. And in verse 7, he says, therefore, do not be partners with them. And so the moment that we believe and trust in Jesus, we have went from darkness to light. We have went from death to life, and we get to go out and shine brightly for Jesus. The second thing is he says that as we walk in the light, we produce fruit, and he gives us three ideas or three words or characteristics. He says first is goodness, how we deal with others, our motives and our thoughts and our actions. The second is righteousness, in that right or that just standing with God in obedience. And the third is truth, in our reliability, in our truthfulness, in our honesty that we have. And then he goes on to say, we've got this new goal in life as we walk in the light. And that is, we want to find out what pleases the Lord, is what he tells us in verse 10. And so those are characteristics of what's there. But he goes on to say, as the passage continues in verses 11 and 12, he says that as we walk in the light exposes evil. So as we live out goodness and righteousness and truth, as we live out being followers of Jesus and doing our best to look like Jesus, people see those characteristics and they see something different for us. And I want to leave you with these truths that come out of this passage, that number one, we can be confident that light always overcomes darkness. We can be confident that light exposes darkness, and we can be confident that light awakens. It brings people back to life. It takes them from death to life. It helps some of us sometimes, as we're striving to look like Jesus, to awaken, to come out of our sleep and our slumber and what's happening. So today the challenge is that as we continue to look forward to look like Jesus, we do that by imitating Jesus. We do that by walking in the light. And so remember, Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16 explains to us and challenges us that we are the light of the world. And it goes on to say that God's intent is that we shine, and we shine brightly. And so the idea is that people will see the good fruits and the things that are happening, the goodness, the righteousness, the integrity or the honesty, the truth that we have, and God will be glorified. And so as we look at this world and we can't comprehend what's going on, what we can comprehend is we serve a Savior. He is the true light. He calls us to imitate that light. And so as we go forward, we do that in His power and as a reflection of His light. So I tell you, go shine for Jesus as you imitate Him this week in your walk with Him. Have a blessed week.